So, John, picture this. You've gone away for the weekend, you're in your parents' caravan, and suddenly you get sieged by werewolves. What do you do?
Well, I've already been seized.
Sieged.
Oh, sieged.
There's werewolves all around the place.
Okay.
They're attacking the campsite.
Okay, I thought you said seized. At that point, my options are pretty limited. Okay, I think you mean besieged.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm inside my parents' caravan, and there are werewolves outside attacking the place.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. I'll just turn on the Hoover. They'll run into the night, yelping.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's how werewolves work.
That's how dogs work. If there'd been a vacuum cleaner in this cottage, this movie would have been a lot shorter.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. But really, how bad could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome everybody to Beyond the Box Set, podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels and spin-offs to films that don't have any. I'm Harry, joining me as always is John.
Hello.
And this week, it is week 2 of our werewolf season for Halloween.
Season of the Wolf.
Mm-hmm. And so we're doing Dog Soldiers, which was last week's popular vote or something, I don't know.
Well, yeah, you chose this, but you didn't choose this.
Oh, yeah.
So you asked people to name some werewolf films that don't have sequels.
I chose this by proxy.
Okay, sure.
Is that how proxy works? Is that what proxy is?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not good with words.
So this week, less so than usual. Are you okay?
Yeah. It's been a long week.
All right, fine. Yeah, so Dog Soldiers. So I guess you hadn't seen this before?
No.
Never.
Yeah, I doubt you had either.
No, I had not. I'd heard of it. I'd heard good things, but I never got around to watching it. I mean, how would you describe this film in one word?
B.
B. That's interesting. It's a B movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
I think it's, as a B movie stands, this is a very solid B movie.
Sure, okay. I really enjoyed this. I really had a great time with this film. I liked this film because it's a film that knew exactly what it wanted to be. It got that balance of comedy and genuine action really nice. Like, it wasn't tonally jarring, I don't think. I think it was all kind of on the same level where, like, there were funny bits, but it wasn't that the characters were like wink, wink, nudge, nudge into the camera or just like being overtly comedic characters. It was just the comedy came from the situation, even though the characters were always taking the situation seriously, which I really like in a film. It made the funny bits so much funnier for me because they came in a fairly serious situation.
Yeah.
There were lots of scenes that just made me laugh really loud and long and hard, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I could still see those scenes unfolding as they happened. There's scenes where I know, oh god, John's still laughing at this point.
Any examples?
Well, I mean, the period joke is probably the standout, I imagine. Imagine that kept you going for a good 5 minutes or so.
I did chuckle, yeah. So, drinking games.
Okay, so I've got... Same as last week, Drink for Transformations.
How many? Actually, I suppose there's about 3. There's Sean Pertwee, who doesn't go all the way, but he's halfway there. There's not Leon, and there's the girl, Megan. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, that's 3.
That's 3. There's 3 drinks, yeah, better than none,
Yeah.
Oh, me. I don't know.
There's no guest this week.
I'm disoriented.
You and me.
Okay, drink for football references.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Including any analogies.
Yeah, there's lots, aren't there? Yeah.
Like, we're 3-0 down and we need to get this back or whatever.
This is a very laddie film in many ways, isn't it? I'm surprised I liked it so much.
Drink for werewolf-related injuries. So, essentially any injury apart from running through a tree.
Sure, okay. So anytime anyone is mauled or bitter or... Yeah, okay, that's good. Drink every time Kevin McKidd, the main guy, doesn't listen to important information.
Such as?
There's lots of times when the woman's like, oh, this is what's going on, or when Ryan is going... So this is what's going on, and he's just like, shut up. He just keeps like shouting people down, and you think, if you listened for a minute, you might learn something. It just didn't seem very leaderly to me. So,
drink for British insults.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
it's quite a few. Like in the very first scene, there's "Oh, you big girl's blouse."
I love
dogs, more like pussies. and my personal favourite. Get off your big fat laddie ass.
All delivered by Sean Pertwee. He's just great. My main takeaway from this film is that Sean Pertwee should be in more things because he is great.
Oh, he's easily the best thing in Gotham.
Yeah. That's the main thing I've seen him in recent years. Is saying like, why is he not in everything? Why has he not been in Game of Thrones?
I mean, well, Game of Thrones hasn't really had any bad castings, particularly.
No.
That Sean Pertwee could have fixed.
No, I don't mean instead of anyone else, but I'm just like, he's such a brilliant British character actor. Like, he'd perfectly work in this kind of film, that kind of thing. But yeah, more Sean Pertwee stuff generally.
Yeah.
Okay, drink. This is one that really annoyed me. Drink every time someone has their back to a window.
Oh,
Often.
it's the worst thing in the world.
It's like, oh, never do that. Never turn your back
You
on the window.
surely know you're in a horror movie.
Yeah.
God.
It did lead to some funny moments, though. My favourite being when the wolves are like clawing through the door, and I think Kevin McKidd, I think it's like mauling one of the guy's shoulders, and Kevin McKidd just chops off the hand.
Yeah.
And the guy just turns around and says, "Thanks, boss." And then the hand is still just hanging there, like mysteriously, like it's just.
I did also like at one point when someone's just nailing up the door or something, and then you see these claws come through the letterbox, and the guy just casually gets the hammer and just moves onto the fingers.
Yeah.
Doesn't react, doesn't jump at all.
No. I just like how mostly they just the main characters just seemed like not so much scared as just really pissed off by the whole situation.
Yeah.
Just like these fucking wolves. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. Drink every time not Leon twirls his invisible mustache. Not literally, but just is like super villainous. He's definitely playing your like classic panto villain.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. So yeah.
Yeah, he's a good villain. I'm done.
Yeah, and drink for full moon shots. But,
Okay, yeah. Well, none of them were a full moon.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, was it all gibbuses and
Well,
what's that one that's almost a full moon?
I don't know. No. But it was that.
Okay.
All the time it was like, oh, that's nearly a full moon. You know, like, oh, I'll give it a couple of days, that'll be a full... Oh, lovely. No.
Well, that seems like an interesting thing to get wrong.
Yeah.
That's kind of horror, like Werewolf movie 101.
Yeah, surely.
Well, fair enough. I didn't notice that. Okay, I guess time for you to go to Patreon then. Unless you've got anything else. Or do you want to do the Friends game now?
Let's do the Friends game.
Okay, sure, Friends game. Well, there's only one girl.
Yes. I think she's Phoebe more than anybody else.
Do you reckon? Because she's not that quirky.
No. Who do you say?
I don't know. I feel like she's more of a Rachel. Because she's kind of like, she's kind of just like competent and pretty, and then it just turns. Oh, by the way, surprise! I'm evil. But
I'm just wondering who can sort of switch between good and evil that quickly. Of the three of them,
maybe Monica.
do you think?
Maybe.
No, I don't think Monica can intentionally switch between them. I think she's just a secret serial killer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, we'll go with Rachel.
Rachel, sure.
Okay, so what about other characters then?
So
So Sean Pertwee.
Sean Pertwee. So
I think he's Monica.
you think?
Very organised.
I think he might be Ross because he shouts a lot and he's kind of the most senior. You know how Ross is always the one who's like, let's be adults.
I suppose that's kind of what I think of Monica because she controls everybody.
She does, but she's more hysterical.
But Monica's not Leon then.
Monica's not Leon, so
Yeah.
she's...
So you got Ross and Monica. It's kind of like I think they're two sides of the same coin.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Who's the main guy then?
Kevin McKidd.
Yeah.
Doesn't really fit. These characters are all like so British and so
it's
macho.
It's very difficult to match them up, isn't it?
It doesn't really... Yeah. Maybe that's Phoebe.
Okay, so that's Phoebe.
Because I feel like Phoebe sometimes like gets very... Like when the shit goes down, Phoebe's actually very much like, okay, we need to just...
Actually, yeah, Phoebe is the one who could fight her way out of anything, of anybody.
Yeah.
And she's scrappy.
Yeah. And nobody wants to see Phoebe die. She's always going to be the last girl.
No.
The final girl.
So Joey is Spoons.
Yeah.
And then Chandler is everybody else.
Yeah, they're just, all the expendable ones are just Chandler. Great, love it. That was easy.
Yeah, I guess that's got.
Who was the cow that falls down?
Who was the cow? Marcel the monkey.
Yeah? I mean, it's not as impressive of a foot. It's like, did something fall out down over there? I don't know. I heard a light noise in the flea.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Ugly Naked Guy.
Ugly. Okay, ugly. Oh, mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't give him that name.
No, that makes sense. Oh, true. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, I guess that's what this film would be if it was made with a cast of friends, which
Sure.
would be a awful film.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Stretch.
It would just have no charm.
No. This film definitely works as a British film. Like, this film is entertaining because it's British.
Yeah.
I don't think you could American remake it.
Well, I've heard it described as the British Predator.
Yeah, it is.
It's really not far off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got this. Yeah, it's definitely what the most recent Predators should have been. Like, here's some people in a forest being picked off one by one by a gang of monsters. Yeah, great. Let's have some fun with this. Yeah, I'd agree. This is British horror done very well, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, we are on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/beyondtheboxset and you want to support the show, you can donate as much or as little as you want. So if you've liked us, you think we're worth it, push some money our way.
That's strong salesmanship once again, Harry.
And if you do, we've got a few bonus features available for you, which include a show where we review films we see in the cinema and a few other films here and there.
Called Beyond the Box Set.
Called Beyond the Box Set. And also every now and then, some interval that John knows, we'll put an advert into the show.
I don't know why this is so hard for you to wrap your head around. It's so
me
simple.
Me neither, but it doesn't
It's
go in.
so simple. Everyone gets one a month. We do one an episode. Everyone gets one a month. If, that's it.
Okay. But I thought it was once a week.
Yes, we do one every week, but everyone who subscribes gets one a month.
So what are the other ones then?
We don't just have the one Patreon.
Oh, every one person gets... But we've got more than 4 Patreons.
Yeah,
though.
we cycle, so sometimes there's 2 in an episode.
I should listen to the show.
You really should.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward.
Okay, well, there's that. Free 30-second advert slot. You can advertise anything you want. Could be your own podcast, your own business, somebody else's podcast, or just anything else. I don't know. And also our Patreons get to decide once a month which film we do on the main show.
Yeah.
Remember, it's got to be a film that doesn't have any sequels, prequels, or spin-offs already. But if you do want us to do a film that does have one of those things, then we'll just do that on the bonus show. We'll just give it a review and a bit of a talk about.
Sure.
That's it. So all that is on patreon.com/beyondtheboxset. Thank you.
Indeed, yes.
Let's see, Alex. What do you think of Jaws, which is at 97% Rotten Tomatoes?
I find it to be anti-shark propaganda. What do you feel about the Entourage movie, which is at a meager 33%?
I think they finally got Hollywood right. How about It Follows, 97%?
Worse than your parents giving you the sex is evil talk. How do you feel about Juno, which is at 94%?
That would be a movie that celebrates a teenage homewrecker. How about Bewitched at 25%?
Best television adaptation ever put to film. How do you feel about American Hustle at a towering 93%?
Overwrought awards bait. Righteous Kill, 19%.
The movie that Michael Mann wishes he had made when he created Heat.
Sounds about right. I'm Julio.
I'm Alex, and we are the Contrarians.
As you can tell, our thing is that we rage against the Rotten Tomatoes machine.
Regardless of what we really feel.
Find us on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn.
Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere.
This is our last day.
All right, do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
Well, you picked the film, so I guess I should go first.
Sure.
Sure, yeah. Okay, so this is one of those weeks when instead of one big idea, I've done 3 small ones. So I might need your brainstorming help on some of these a little bit.
Oh, great. Well, I can't promise much.
So my first one was pretty straightforward. Same film remade from the perspective of the werewolves.
Okay.
Because I feel like we never really get their story. So we know that they're just like a nice family who are also werewolves. Possibly cannibals, we're not sure. Maybe we need a bit of an origin there. How did they get turned into werewolves? Do they know that they turn into wolves once a month? Presumably.
Yeah, they must do.
Yeah, so are they just like at peace with that? Is it a curse? Is it something they enjoy? What's the story?
I think something they've embraced.
They've embraced their werewolfness.
Yeah, I don't think they've necessarily that they enjoy it or they don't enjoy it. They're just like, oh well, I guess that's a thing.
Sure. Do you think so? Was Megan supposed to be the daughter of the family then?
Something like that, yeah. A daughter, I don't know.
A daughter, or was she just someone who, or was she actually a zoologist and then she just found them and got like adopted into the family? Like
Maybe.
It wasn't clear. I'd like to clear that up. Like I like an origin story. Like what is Megan's story? Where did she come from? How did she end up in this situation? What was she thinking? Like, I also like the idea that maybe the werewolves are actually perfectly nice and they're just like living their life, and then one day all these soldiers just come and break into their home and they're like, well, fuck this then.
Yeah, because they did seem to have everything together, whatever system they had going.
Yeah, they had a nice little cottage there.
Their house seemed nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel for the house really in this situation.
The house is the real victim.
Yeah, the house took the brunt of this.
Like, do you think on nights when there aren't soldiers breaking into the house and like messing shit up, do you think maybe they're just like sat down at the table as wolves, just like having a nice family dinner, or are they outside running around? Or
I think that, I think they're sort of outside running around,
okay,
hunting different things.
just like squirrels and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Sorry, are we talking when they're wolves?
When they're wolves, yeah.
Oh, bigger things than squirrels. Imagine a
Cows?
werewolf that size looking for a squirrel.
No, maybe it's just like a snack, like a Tic Tac. Like,
Yeah, sure. Probably a bitch to catch.
well, true, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, okay, like a rabbit or I don't know. If not a human, what's the next thing? Like a cow? Cows are huge.
Yeah. They hunted a cow earlier.
They did, true. They didn't eat it though. They just pushed it off a hillside.
Pushed it off a tree.
Okay, maybe that's the film. Maybe we find out what this kind of weird system they got is, where they're just like keeping cows in trees. Maybe there's loads of them up there. If they just looked up, it was just like all these cows just hanging. Like it's like they've turned the forest into like a personal abattoir.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
So that's all I've got there. Just same film, but from the perspective. Maybe give the wolves a more sympathetic storytelling. Like, because there's a few bits in the original film where it grays out and you see it from the wolves' perspective. I was liking the idea that maybe in their version the humans are the enemy, the humans are the bad guys, and they're just defending their turf.
Yeah,
I think
that works.
there's a film in that, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was idea number 1.
Okay, sure.
Idea number 2 is, it struck me that this film would work really well as an Edgar Wright film with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost.
Yes, it would.
In fact, apparently Simon Pegg was offered a part in this film. I'm not sure which one.
Oh, really?
But he turned it down because Ed Wright said to him, hang on, we're going to do Shaun of the Dead soon. And we want that to be the first thing the British public see you in as a horror film. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're not done. He was only known from Spaced and Big Train at that point.
Well, that's fine, then that worked out pretty well, so...
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But by the same token, this still feels like it could easily be an Ed Wright, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg story. Like, it could easily have been part of the Toblerone trilogy. Is that what it's called? Toblerone?
Cornetto.
The Cornetto trilogy. Toblerone?
I don't know.
It could easily be part of the Cornetto trilogy, like that kind of thing, where Simon Pegg and Nick Frost and a bunch of their misfit mates. Maybe it's just the cast of Spaced. Maybe it's just an episode of Spaced where they just go, like, they rent out an Airbnb or something in the countryside, in the Scottish Highlands, and then werewolves start attacking them.
Well, probably not. It probably would be... They all get a bit drunk and, whatever. By whatever I mean drugs. And Nick Frost essentially becomes a werewolf, but not really.
Okay.
And so then he's chasing him around the place as though he's the werewolf. And they'll think he's werewolf.
They all think he's a werewolf. How's this going to happen?
Well, I mean, they're all hallucinating.
Oh, okay, so it's just a big old... So he's got to be, like, really fairy, then?
Yeah, I mean, he probably is anyway.
Oh, sure, but...
But then he would appear more furry.
Because of the drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, so they all get really stoned or they get really baked on something. Nick Frost takes his shirt off and they're like, oh my god, it's a werewolf. And then it's just him running around trying to eat people?
Yeah.
Okay, do you think he does in fact eat anyone?
No, I reckon that maybe somebody gets injured and what's his name, Brian, the painter from downstairs. Yes. Maybe he falls down a gorge or something.
Yes.
Like he's fine, but just he can't get up and everybody thinks that werewolf Nick Frost ate him.
Oh yeah, through a series of misunderstandings they keep finding entrail or what they think are entrails. Maybe it's like a badly cooked spag ball or something.
Exactly, stuff like that.
And then they think, oh my god, they ate Brian, and actually Brian's just gone down the shops for a few cigarettes or something.
Yeah.
He always stayed at the pub after hours or whatever. And it just paranoia sets in and people keep going missing but no one actually dies. And it just ends up with...
Well, everybody keeps going away one by one until it's just Simon Pegg against Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Eventually he gets caught and turns out that Nick Frost wasn't actually getting high.
No.
So he's just trying to get back to his friends.
Oh, so he doesn't realise why everyone else
is running away from him all the time.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Then eventually he catches up with Simon Pegg, shakes him out of it, and then to go out to the pub, and that's where everybody is.
Sure. I do like the idea of just recreating the scene with spoons where Nick Frost maybe got Simon Pegg pinned up against the wall, and Simon Pegg's like, "I hope it gives you indigestion, you bastard," or something.
Yeah. I hope you get the shits.
Yeah, that's it. I hope you get the shits, not
Yeah.
indigestion. Yeah, that'd be very funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it will make a good episode of Spaced.
Mm-hmm.
Would have done if that had been, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I must admit, this is my last one. I stole the title from a fan submission. So Jed Jong
You
submitted.
told me off for cheating the other week,
I
John.
know, but then I realised I don't have to work so hard. If I'd known
good,
all
it's
this
good, it's
time,
good,
that
isn't
Harry's- yeah. All this time I've been like actually wasting my time being creative when Harry's just been like skimming the fans. So
I mean, it's happened once.
sure, okay, well this is my one pass because I thought this was really good and I expanded on it. All I got was a title and I thought that's really good. I want to use that. So the title suggested by Jed Jong was "What Dog Soldiers Do in the Shadows."
Okay, yeah.
So I thought, oh, that's really fun because we watched that film about a year ago. What We Do in the Shadows? Do you remember that film? The
Yeah,
vampire film with Taika Waititi and not Matt Berry. What's not Matt Berry's name? The one from Legion.
I don't know.
Do you know who I mean? There, the one who
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
looks like Matt Berry but isn't.
Yeah.
Who is that guy?
Also, it's Taika Waititi, not Taika Waikiki.
Taika Waititi. Say it again.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I knew that. Okay. Oh, Jermaine Clement.
Sure.
Yeah, he really does look like Matt Berry.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's crazy. I always get those two mixed up. Anyway, so yeah, it's
He doesn't look a lot like him. Like, you can tell them apart very easily, but just there's a very similar style going on.
yeah, basically, yeah. I'm sure if they were standing next to each other, you'd be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, point I'm making is, so that film, What We Do in the Shadows, it's a comedy film about vampires that has like a mockumentary style. I thought that'd be a really funny thing for this film as well. Like, imagine, it's kind of similar to my first idea. Imagine just like a mockumentary about just a very nice, unassuming family living in the Scottish Highlands who just happen to also be murderous werewolves. And there's just like a documentary being filmed about their lives as like half wolf, half human people.
Yeah.
And so the documentary crew are like part of the story almost. Like they're trying to film this documentary and they're staying behind the camera. But then every so often the wolves will just like turn into wolves and eat one of them. And it's very hard to get the documentary filmed because there's a huge body count.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm thinking again, maybe like times are tight and they've rented out their cottage like as a holiday home, like an Airbnb style thing. But the problem is that they keep eating the guests. So it's very hard for them to ever get paid. Take the money up front and then there's no problem.
Yeah, just deposits.
Yeah. I'm thinking Megan can still be a character. So maybe it's like her parents and their parents have got like maybe a son and a daughter and she's the daughter. So, and I think Megan should be at this point. She's married to a very nice human, like non-werewolf guy, who has not been eaten. He's managed to miraculously survive. I'm thinking he's very nice, very normal, very non-murderous, but also very needy and annoying. So like, every time she goes out for a walk or something, he gets really depressed. He sits on the sofa, just doesn't look at anything, just feels very sad. So it's almost like he's the dog. He's just like following around everywhere. Quite annoying, just being a dog, but not a dog. It's like the human is the needy, annoying pet in this situation. I think they should have a grumpy teenage son who is also a werewolf, obviously. And he's going to be like grumpy and resentful about being a werewolf. He doesn't like living on his own. He's going to have a job behind the bar at the local pub. I've not based this on your promise. I'm just
Cool, just checking.
And he's really terrible at pulling pints, but the staff like him anyway because he's very good at security. So there'll be a scene of like when they call time, but if customers don't leave fast enough, he just starts barking at them and just chases them out.
Sure. I should try that.
I bet you wish you could do that sometimes. Because of his heightened sense of smell, maybe there'll be a scene where there's some teenagers like dealing drugs in the pub toilets and he catches the scent from behind the bar. And we see him like just chase them out the pub and they're all like running, screaming through the streets and he's just chasing them down.
On all fours.
On all fours, yeah. And we just see him come back in like with his face covered in blood, like in his t-shirt covered in blood, like sorted it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a dog-friendly pub, but every time dogs come in, he's going to start like growling at them, like so. That's going to annoy the locals a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like he's a good barman, but he's terrible with the dogs.
You said he's not a good barman, he's just good at security.
Well, he's good at security, but he's terrible with the dogs. Yeah. And yeah, he's going to have a bunch of like non-werewolfy mates, like his drinking buddies that he hangs out with, who they like him, he likes them, but again, every so often he will just get really pissed and eat one of them, and they'll just have to deal with that. So. But other than that, they're pretty much okay with it. And yeah, it's just going to be, I feel like it's just going to be a funny behind-the-scenes mockumentary about just living life in the Highlands as a domestic werewolf.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I got with that.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yeah.
Certainly.
I think it'd be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need the right actors, but I mean, that's, yeah. So yeah, those are my 3 very thin ideas for this week. It was hard, like, unless you went into, well, we'll see what you've done. But yeah, I struggled because this film was, again, it was quite self-contained. Quite simple. But, I mean, it had its little plot strands, which maybe you've looked into.
Yeah. Well, I did find there were There are a few scenarios that you could kind of do with this. You can do the prequel,
Yeah.
which you kind of touched on there with sort of what's the deal with the family. But yeah, you could talk about where they got their werewolf abilities from. Obviously being scratched by another werewolf, but like, where did that come from?
Sure, yeah.
And you could go right back to the very origins of it, but then I thought, no, I kind of did that last week.
Okay.
So I shied away from that. Yeah, you could do stuff afterwards where, you know, he goes back hunting werewolves or whatever.
Oh, he becomes a werewolf hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I was liking that. Or maybe he goes and hunts other monsters around the world.
He becomes like a Van Helsing kind of figure.
I don't know what that is.
The film?
Nope.
Okay. Carry on.
Yeah, so I decided to go for neither of those.
Okay.
Instead, I thought some of these films, like say Alien or Predator, which both feel quite similar to this,
Sure.
in that you've got a crew and they'll get killed off one by one. What they seem to do, at least with their title naming, is they will do Alien or Predator just like a single, and then for the next one or a bit later down the line, they just pluralize it.
Sure.
And just put an S on the end and then make it bigger and better by having more monsters.
Sure.
This film feels like it kind of jumped the gun a little bit and just went straight to the sequel.
Yeah, it's Dog Soldiers, not Dog Soldier.
Yeah, because it's... Even though it's Dog Soldiers, so it's about the humans in this,
Yeah.
there's multiple werewolves.
Yes.
In which I didn't feel there needed to be. So...
Well, not Leon said, didn't he? He said there was only supposed to be one, and he said there's 5 or however many there are.
Yeah, exactly. So this one is called Dog Soldier.
Oh, it's a prequel.
Yeah, so it is a prequel, but
Okay.
it's not that prequel.
Okay.
And it's going to be set in the 22 hours that Kevin McKidd was trying to stay away from the Special Forces.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so taking place vaguely around the same time. Well, the same time as the start of the film,
Sure, yeah.
at least. Kind of.
2 hours previously.
No, it's 22 hours before 3 hours before the campers got.
Great. Okay. Sure. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yep. Which is also 4 weeks before the rest of the film, so yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
I'm going to get my calculator out.
Anyway, and so to recast this guy, I wanted to get a young Kevin McKidd, because obviously he's aged up a bit now.
Sure.
He can't play that same character.
Sure.
So I first went... Well, I only went to one person. My first choice was Broyd Holbrook, who was the main guy in The Predator we saw last week.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, he is actually a good actor. If you look at him in Logan, he'd done a great job there.
Okay, sure. Fair
And I
enough.
think that he could do something. No idea what his British accent is like.
I was going to say, is this now an American film, or no, we're keeping it British?
Oh, I absolutely want to keep it British, but
Okay,
just
sure.
because I don't know any British actors who would be appropriate for this.
Okay.
I mean, I'm only thinking just like around that age, white, blonde,
Sure.
and then if you add British to the mix as well, it's impossible.
Okay, sure. I always appreciate a good American doing a bad British accent anyway.
Yes,
It's always
that's
a good
that's always good fun.
Can we somehow have Keanu Reeves in this? I know he's too old for that role, but is there anything we can do with him?
I've got an idea. We'll see. There's very few characters in this.
Okay, fine. Go on.
I've seen many strange things already. Bloody wolves chasing me through some blue inferno.
So this is going to be the story of him on that training course for Special Forces, and so he's in the Scottish Highlands. He's using his tracking skills to track down an animal of some kind so he can hunt it and kill it and stuff. So it starts off general survival.
Okay.
He does track this animal down and eventually comes across its dead corpse being eaten by a werewolf.
So the corpse of the animal he's been tracking. What animal is it that he's tracking?
Like a deer or something.
That's
It
okay, sure.
doesn't really matter.
Okay. And this is while he's doing the Special Forces training for Not Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so, well, I don't know if is it training? I don't know.
Oh, the test?
Yeah. Whatever it is. So he's trying to avoid not Leon, but at the same time survive out by himself in the Scottish Highlands.
Okay, sure.
Which, I mean, they don't make it look that difficult.
I'm sure you'd be great at it.
Yeah. How hard could it be?
When you have no hesitation shooting a dog, so...
So the werewolf hasn't noticed him yet, and so he slowly backs away without making a sound. And when he's at a safe distance, he uses a crossbow to fire an arrow into the distance to kind of distract the werewolf into running the opposite way.
Okay.
So while the werewolf runs that way, he runs in the opposite direction and as far away as possible.
Sure. Well, we learned from this film what he could have done, which is another one of my favourite jokes. He could have just thrown a stick and gone, fetch!
Well, did that actually work, or did someone just try that?
Well, he tried. I think the wolf was briefly distracted. I don't know, I wasn't sure.
I
I enjoyed it.
I forget what happened. Yeah, I enjoyed the idea.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened. If the wolf just sort of gave it like a look and just like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he successfully tricks the werewolf, gets away. Now the werewolf finds the arrow, sniffs it, picks up his scent.
Oh, okay.
So then the werewolf's going to start tracking him.
Ooh,
while
interesting.
he's also tracking the werewolf, trying to kill each other. It's going to be a bit of a sort of cat and mouse game of hunting there.
Okay.
I don't know if they're going to sort of just wander around in circles for a while. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what's going to go on there.
Well, that is often what dogs do when they're tracking. They'll just sniff the same piece of earth over and over again for ages.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll do the Cooper will do the same.
Sure, yeah.
At one point, Cooper is going to befriend a sheepdog.
Okay. Just a random sheepdog.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe he comes across the cottage or something, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't need him to be in a cottage. That feels like a bit repetitive.
Okay, sure.
But he comes across a sheepdog, who we could call Keanu, if you want.
Oh, okay. Is Keanu Reeves going to like do the dog's inner monologue or something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have to wear that in if that doesn't really fit. With
No,
you.
we'll see. So, well, I was going to have that Cooper does talk to the dog a lot, just
Okay.
so that there's actually some
dialogue in this film.
yeah. Or else it's just him talking to himself or narrating by himself. I don't know. So maybe he's talking to the dog, and then Keanu, just in Keanu's head, is talking back.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like all the time. It's like this fucking human.
Yeah, I like that. Very homeward bound. Yeah, good.
So when we get to the final act of wrapping it up, there's going to be a very, very complex plan, which involves Cooper spreading his scent all over a contained area, setting a few traps for the werewolf.
When you say spreading his scent, is he just pissing everywhere?
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Just to be clear. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good to be clear. So the werewolf actually isn't just as dumb as a dog and does manage to evade all these traps in one way or another and ends up fighting Keanu.
Okay. The sheepdog.
Yes. Keanu does not do well
Okay.
and gets pretty much ripped to shreds.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I'd already written that. Anyway, so while this is happening, a very emotional Cooper, who's just losing his best friend, he's going to jump out of a tree from behind the beast with 2 flaming sticks in hand,
Okay.
manage to stab the werewolf in the back and in the chest, setting it ablaze, and it runs away into the distance howling.
Okay.
He then tends to Keanu, who is whimpering from his mortal wounds.
Oh, he's alive.
So Keanu's still alive.
Oh, he's
but,
not been literally ripped to shreds then.
Oh, he's alive, but not for long.
Oh, okay,
very,
right.
very clearly not for long. Like maybe there's bits missing. Maybe
Oh,
his
no.
belly's out.
Oh.
I don't know.
What a horrible image.
Yeah. Well, you earned it. Ultimately, Cooper has to put the dog out of his misery.
Oh no, he has to shoot it?
Well, has to do something. Probably yes. Well, I
Is
don't know.
that why he won't shoot the second dog? He's not 2 in one night.
Well, pretty much, yeah. So then, just when he thinks it's all over, he hears some voices approaching his position, and it's the special forces tracking him down. So he runs for it, leaving the dead dog behind,
Okay.
and the film ends. So it picks up
Oh,
straight
so it
away
picks
with him being forced to shoot another dog in the space of about 3 minutes.
I like that. Well, I don't like it, but I like the way that comes back around. Yeah, like that's why he's so keen on not killing the second dog. It's like I've done enough dog killing for one night. No, no more. That's good, and it sets him up as like having a long history with werewolves, which maybe he's in denial in the other film. Like that's why he's like so he won't accept it because he's like blocked out this horrible memory.
Yeah.
I like it. That's very good. That's very plausible. Okay.
I wanted to somehow connect that this was the same werewolf that attacks the campers, but I don't feel like it's needed. Also, you don't see that werewolf, so...
No, and this isn't in Scotland, is it?
Oh!
I mean, the wolf could have travelled.
Yeah, 'cause that was North Wales, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure, it's North Wales.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's werewolves there too. Or maybe that wolf...
Well,
yeah.
there was, because that's where the campers were, wasn't it?
No, the campers were in Scotland.
Were they?
Yeah, because that's why the silver knife at the end was in the cottage.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, the only bit in North Wales was the training thing.
Sure.
Well, maybe the wolf just, he's been on the...
Maybe there's
little
more
UK
than
tour.
one.
Maybe they're everywhere. Maybe they are everywhere. Yeah. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Cool. Well, yeah.
Listener submissions?
Guess so, yeah.
Okay.
I've got a few this week,
Do you want to
actually.
start then?
Yeah, sure. So I put the call out on a couple of Facebook groups, Great Mix Facebook group and Podcasting Mates, and so Josh Reed said, a prequel. The werewolf family lineage in Scotland, but based in medieval times. Basically Braveheart with big angry dogs.
Okay, interesting. So it's just the film Braveheart remade with werewolves?
Yeah? I don't know that film that well. I'm trying to think, would Mel Gibson be a werewolf?
I'm guessing you would. I mean, he's quite hirsute in that film, so...
It's quite what, sorry?
Hirsute, he's hairy.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you never seen Braveheart?
Yeah.
But not well enough to remember anything about what happens in Braveheart?
No, doesn't he die at the end?
Yes, he does.
Cool. They will take our lives, but they will never take our freedom?
That's the one.
Hey. Anyway, Mel Gibson, Braveheart with werewolves.
Sure,
I like the idea of it. Lewis Glover says, set in a military facility where the army are trying to turn their own soldiers into werewolves, but it never works. Until it works, but on the wrong person. And it all goes tits up.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of like Predator in a way, or the most recent Predator, and many other films when it's like a science lab, and then suddenly the subject escapes and runs rapid.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, yeah, like it.
I like that. Neil John replied to my status just by one quote of the film saying, I hope I give you the shits. And then someone replied to his comment, Christopher Koletka said, sequel pitch, werewolf gets the shits.
Very good. Very good.
Well, no, I wouldn't love to see that, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Ross Barber says, same basic film, but the Americans come across the werewolves while on exercise. Luckily, the bloke who survived the first film is available to help. Cue him and some of his squaddy mates taking a piss at the Americans and saving the day.
Okay, bit of cross-cultural comedy there. Yeah.
Andrew Mallard says, dog veterans. And then a reply to his from Brad Hutchinson says, dog vets could be used as a double meaning.
Okay, yeah. Like maybe there's like a special vets that like. Remember we saw that film Hotel Artemis recently? It's like a hospital just for villains. Maybe there's like a vet and it's some random woman who, much similar to Megan, is like friends with the wolves and just fixes them up when they've been injured.
I like it.
Yeah.
Daniel Cooperthwaite says, sequel, Wolf Soldiers. Opening is coordinated and well-planned attack for the army to clean up the werewolf problem. Few get bitten, operation not entirely successful. The soldiers are treated somewhat and sent back into action against the werewolves at the next full moon. I don't know why the wait, maybe you can't find them otherwise. So, werewolves versus werewolves, essentially.
Oh, good werewolves versus evil werewolves. Okay.
Anyway, these infected soldiers fight the other werewolves and put in another dead cow. That was great. Ooh, I ran out of steam, didn't it? I'm pretty drunk, to be honest.
What is this group for you?
It's essentially me, but loads of people.
Oh, just loads of views. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's a brilliant group. David I've got loads of these, by the way. It's a very popular film.
Yeah, people like this one.
Yeah. David Elric says, have Cooper heading a team going back to the wood to hunt down what he thinks are the remaining werewolves, only to find that there are more than he previously thought.
Okay.
Bring in some more British actors to fill out the rest of the roles in the squad that have fun personalities like the previous film. Maybe cast Tommy Flanagan as another survivor. I forgot to look up who that was. Do you know that?
Tommy Flanagan? I shall Google it.
So maybe cast Tommy Flanagan as another survivor or the human form of one of the werewolves, like the Patriarch or something. Keep it more of a B movie though with a good script.
Okay. I recognise...
Yeah, I recognise that name too.
He's in Sons of Anarchy, apparently. Did you watch that show?
No.
Well, this guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's familiar, but I couldn't...
He'd make a good werewolf.
Yeah, he definitely looks like he could make a good werewolf. Whose idea was that, sorry?
David Elric.
When David Elric said, more famous British actors, my mind immediately went for some reason to Sean Bean.
Oh, yes.
He'd be good in something.
Yes.
I mean, he'd have to die because he's Sean Bean.
Well,
yeah.
I like it.
He'd be great.
Penultimate one now. Phil Better.
Oh, here we go.
Sequel idea. The Megan didn't die in the house explosion. Don't I say it's the Megan?
The Megan, as in the Meg.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. No, it's not. It's not nothing to do with the Meg. But
Shark Soldiers. That should have been my sequel idea. It's the same film, but they're sharks.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so the Megan didn't die in the house explosion and sees Cooper emerge from the cellar. She then proceeds to hunt him, more thriller style than horror, causing Cooper to slowly go insane since no one believes him until Major Dutch from The Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, shows up, and we then get cross between Dog Soldiers and The Predator. Call it Dog Soldiers, The Predators.
Very good.
You know what? I'd watch that crossover.
Absolutely, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, it's good.
As long as it's still very British and very American, with like two big contrasts.
Absolutely, yeah. I think just having Kevin McKidd and Arnold Schwarzenegger on screen together would be weird. They're just such different actors.
Yeah.
But so is she stalking? Is the Megan? Is she stalking him in the sense that like in the city, driving him insane, like jumping up behind corners, like and then just disappearing? Or?
Yeah, maybe.
Because it says it drives him. It's not that she's hunting him to kill him. She drives him insane because no one believes him that she's real. So yeah, is she just like psychologically torturing him, like as a wolf?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Okay, interesting. Like Fatal Attraction meets The Predator meets Dog Soldiers. Great.
Especially if she does just jump from behind corners. Going,
yeah, like it. Yeah.
Okay, and last one, Ross Burton. You've heard of him.
Oh, this guy. Is this a pun by any chance?
No, it's not, but it's still predictable. A whole cinematic universe, there we go,
Okay.
of soldiers that are dealing with where some things are otherwise, brackets, semi-mythical beasts, such as vampire soldiers, goblin soldiers, troll soldiers, elf soldiers, spider soldiers, centaur soldiers, and tiger soldiers.
Okay.
I would love to see tiger soldiers.
Tiger soldiers.
That sounds great.
That's like an amped up version of this film. Right?
Yeah.
If they made like a Bollywood remake of this film.
For tiger soldiers, I was thinking more casting the girls trip people.
Oh, okay, yeah.
More casting that group of people as the tiger soldiers. That could be fun.
Yeah, an all-girl remake, but it's an all-female remake of this film, but instead of werewolves, it's tigers. I like it, yeah, and cougars. And, yeah. Okay, that's got some potential, definitely. Very good, like it a lot.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll get to mine. Alex Gradette said, Dog Sailors. It's a prequel set in the 1700s, so it's like Master and Commander, but werewolves.
Sure, yeah.
Blaine Yurisha Miyakawa said, Dog Soldiers Babies, a cartoon show spin-off. Like Muppet Babies, just a cute early morning cartoon, but with werewolves.
Okay.
But baby werewolves.
I was about to say, it'd be nice to see a film about, like, baby werewolves or, like, children werewolves or something like. Oh, yeah, we did that last week.
That was based literally the film we did last week. Phil Catterall said, Cat Soldiers. It's just an empty forest. The cats have no interest in the humans and are fucked off.
Oh, of course someone did that.
Yeah, I was very tempted, but I thought I can't go to that well 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Dennis Fanning said, Dog Soldiers 2, Rough Country.
Oh, God.
I like that one.
Better drink to that.
Stephen Jones said, Frog Soldiers. Not an amazing movie, but I think I'd love it anyway, warts and all. Scott Hillman says, a making-of movie about how a man who owns a bunch of mini malls in Arkansas ended up making a movie with the Grand Duke of Luxembourg. So I guess that's an actual behind-the-scenes, how did this film end up in Luxembourg?
Okay, yeah.
John Manley said, Kevin McKidd's character wakes up in the woods with his dog and is taken in by the military. They don't believe him and send him back with a badass squad of Marines and a seedy businessman arms dealer who's secretly trying to weaponize the werewolves. Oh shit, I'm just rewriting Aliens again.
Yep, okay.
Aaron Whitwer says Descent of the Dog Soldiers. And Neil Marshall Mashup. Have you seen the film The Descent? Same director?
No.
Do you know what it is?
No.
Bunch of women go, what's that thing when you dive into cave diving?
I thought you say dive into cake. I was like, what, there's a film about that?
Diving into cake? This sounds like your fantasy. No, The Descent, they go cave diving, these women, and then they get attacked by a random monster that you never see. Yeah. So, Descent of the Dog Soldiers, werewolves versus those cave monster things, also some hapless cavers get caught in between it all. So, yeah, good work. Gillian Ness Sterling said, I would like a movie about a coven of werewolf witches.
Werewolf witches?
Witches who are also werewolves, or werewolves who are also witches.
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Werewolves with supernatural powers. Who are girls?
Yeah? I mean, can't men be witches? This is sexism.
Well, no, okay, it could be male witches. Well, are they not warlocks?
Depends how they identify.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. I'm not one to judge. Whatever. Yeah. However they want to identify themselves. Spencer Kopp says, while out on manoeuvres, a squad of SAS operatives stumble upon a crashed ship with the words USS Defiant displayed on the bow. The ship's lone survivor, the captain, is a diminutive being with rather pronounced ears. Coming in summer 2019, Nog Soldiers.
Okay.
You didn't really watch Deep Space Nine, did you?
No, but I know.
You know who Nog is, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, good. Johnny James Fuller said, D.O.G.G. Soldiers, starring Snoop Dogg and Nate Dogg. So just a rapper version.
Yep.
Miguel A. Verastique said, Cat Platoon. Dog Soldiers, Cat Platoon.
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
James Hayes said, Reservoir Dog Soldiers.
Solid.
Yeah.
Not seen Reservoir Dogs, but yes.
Yeah. Stephen Jones had kind of a conceptual idea that I found quite interesting. It's called Dog Soldiers 2, Viola Davis. There's more to this.
Yeah.
That's just a horrible insult to Viola Davis. This film is a static shot of Viola Davis as somebody else with a pleasant speaking voice describes in great detail to her the plot of the movie Dog Soldiers, and we just see her facial reactions from first learning the title to the end of the movie.
Okay. Right. Well,
So it's just like 90 minutes of Viola Davis's face while someone off screen is just like, well, then this happens, and this happens, and this happens. So
okay. I'm just trying to work out how that would work.
maybe she cries a lot and wins an Oscar.
Would she win an Oscar for that?
She's Viola Davis.
She cry? Yeah, but it needs to be believable.
She could be nominated.
Yeah, but it's the wrong emotions.
There might be bits where she finds...
If she gets the emotions wrong, she's not getting nominated.
There might be moments that she finds, upsetting. Maybe she's a big dog person.
Okay.
It's not my idea.
Sure.
Thought it was interesting. False Starts Podcast, at False Starts Pod, said, Neil Marshall, the director, is currently busy doing Hellboy and Game of Thrones, as we know. So Shane Meadows takes over directing and writing. We get a mini-series that's equal parts funny and gut-wrenchingly tragic about Cooper dealing with his PWSD, i.e. post-werewolf stress disorder. Very good. Phil Better Show, at Phil Better Show, said, wait, didn't he do yours as well?
Yeah.
Okay, well...
It's the same person.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Is this the same idea? Phil Better, at Phil Better Show, has suggested a prequel in which we follow Megan as she studies local creatures in the Scottish Highlands, gets attacked by a werewolf, meets the soldiers, and it's called Dog Soldiers Fresh Air.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So he's written a prequel for you and a sequel for me.
Is he like playing us against each other?
I think so.
I feel like we're now like flies trapped in Phil Better's web.
Like more puppets.
Puppets, yeah. I don't know. I feel unsettled.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
We should get him on the show and talk about it.
We should, yeah. Maybe that's something that should happen soon. Finally, Blokebusters, at Blokebusters, said, Cooper dedicates his life to hunting supernatural beings. He goes on the road, tracking and killing as many as he can. Then one day, 2 men in a black Impala arrive and campness ensues. I think that's based on the TV show Supernatural.
Okay.
Yeah, which I've not seen, but
No.
sure. And yeah, those are our sequel ideas for Dog Soldiers. So if you have a sequel idea for Dog Soldiers or any film we've done in the past, please let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us at beyondtheboxset.com. Our podcast is available on all good podcasting platforms, including iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Acast, you name it, we're on it. If we're on it, let us know. We will get on it. You can also contact us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Just search Beyond the Box Set or at Beyond the Box Set on Twitter. And we have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Beyond the Box Set, and also merchandise available on TeePublic. Again, just search Beyond the Box Set. And next week, it is my choice. So, this film's kind of, in some ways, quite a traditional but a very British take on the werewolf story. We've also had a Japanese anime take on werewolves, sort of.
Nothing to do with the werewolf story.
Nothing particularly. Not in the sense that we understand werewolves to be, but So next week, I thought I would like to do a American take on the concept. Also, I thought I'd like to bring in the most famous. Well, he's not always a werewolf, but one of the most famous stories involving wolves there is the Little Red Riding Hood story. And in 2011, I think. There was a film directed by Catherine Hardwicke, who also directed the Twilight movies, called Red Riding Hood. And it tells the story of Little Red Riding Hood with a teen, and I think it's like a teen adult perspective. I've not seen this film. I've heard things that I think lead me to believe I will enjoy it, and you may enjoy it too. And yeah, so next week we're going to watch Red Riding Hood. That's all I'm going to say on the matter.
Okay, sure. Great. It's not what I thought you were going to pick, but sure.
What did you think I was going to pick?
Cursed.
Has sequel.
Does it?
Apparently, yeah.
I didn't find one. Whatever. Cool. Okay, well, I guess next week, Red Riding Hood. We'll see you then.
See you then for the next edition of our Season of the Wolf. Until then, goodbye.
Bye.
I hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.